There we go. Welcome back to the Black Light Podcast. DonLexy here with another live reaction. Let's get into it, man. Let me get comfortable. Pop-up show. Drop those locations. Same as usual. Input.
You see, stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on two separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions.
I beg
When
your
played back
pardon.
simultaneously on two separate systems,
My
the
dog
sounds are
died.
blended together
What's up, Edwina?
to achieve a new dimension in sound, impossible to obtain.
For my people. Lawrenceville, Georgia in the building. Let's do it. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Brooklyn, New York in the building. Fort Worth, Texas in the building as well. What's going on? We'll go over to the channel, make sure that all the audio is good. Shouts out to all of our new subscribers. We brought in almost 2,000 new people. Had to go do some short form work, bring some people in. There's a vicious campaign against our channel, so we have to do things a little bit unique over here. How you guys doing? Welcome back. And on my page, it's not even showing that I'm live. How in the world could... It's not even showing as a live stream over here. Can't even go to it or anything. For all the people who saw the live or can see that we're live, go to it or anything. Okay. My audio is good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's been a while, but we're back. We do have two archetypes to cover. But as promised in the thumbnail, I am going to react to the second half of Kendra G's High Value Men Don't Exist rant. We only reacted to the first half of it on the short form video. That's doing pretty well. But there are a lot of people who wanted me to react to the second half, so I figured I would save that for the live show. So we're going to react to that, and then we're going to get into the second archetypes. And that way, that'll make for a longer show. Since we haven't been here for a while, that'll make for a longer show. Tomorrow, if we sponsor today's show, we will come back here and react to Kendra G again. Whoa, not sure what the double echo about is with the air horn. Excuse that. But we're going to come back and react to another woman on Kendra G's show who's been engaged a million times. And we're going to get into how women are flaunting around engagements in the Black community still as if that means anything, along with some other archetypes that I collected. So let's have a good show. You guys know the rules. The only things that will stop the show is the cash apps. Keep the likes above 50. I want to cover TNN a little bit. There is news going on in these streets. I want to be consistent as a podcaster and remember to cover TNN. People were emailing me about Cardi B and the whole situation and wanted me to cover it. Of course, I don't want to cover Cardi B. I don't want to cover Cardi B and her shenanigans. All I'm going to say is this briefly. I'm not going to get into detail. All I'm going to say is the fact that she has so many women supporting her through her getting pregnant by a guy who actively has, I think, 2 other women pregnant, and all the overwhelming support that she's getting from, of course, let's all say it. Come on, let's all just let it out there. We all know what it is. It's black women supporting this rhetoric. It puts into perspective why we have so many single mother-led households. If they believe that what Cardi B is doing is okay, and because she's rich, it's okay for her to do that, that makes all the sense in the world to why that we have so many single mother-led households. You women are lucid in your decisions, and then you're claiming that there are no fathers in the black community. You're claiming that there's a deadbeat father issue. Where are the fathers? I'll tell you where they are. They're not being paid attention to by the women in our community. They're unseen by the women in our community. The actual fathers. Our women are looking past the good men who will stay with them and so on and so forth, and going for the guys who don't mean them any good. And then acting like in some fantasy world they would actually respect a man like Russell Wilson. And we all know that they would not. We know that they wouldn't. It's very shameful. Another thing, in I believe what state it was, I think it's Florida. This is the second part of CNN. We're moving on past Cardi B. In Florida, I believe, if I'm quoting the wrong state, somebody correct me. But I believe they just passed a 50-50 custody law where if you divorce someone, both people automatically get 50-50 custody of the children. You don't automatically just get rights to the children anymore. I'm pretty sure all the other states are going to follow suit. But that's not all. Something interesting happened when they changed that law. Somehow, magically, the divorce rate went down. Somehow the divorce rate went down. And what that proves is that what people in men advocacy have been saying all along is true. And what men have been saying on these RP content, on these RP platforms that you guys think are so toxic, all you women think are so toxic, come to find out, it's true. Come to find out, when women aren't rewarded for leaving a marriage, they don't. Now women are staying in their marriages because you don't guarantee have rights to your kids 100%. Women don't even want to leave when they don't have all the rights to your children. It's very malicious. This is saying something crazy about women in the West. It really is. But that concludes TNN. We have a lot to cover. Glad to be back. Y'all know the rules. If we sponsor today's show, we will certainly be back here tomorrow cooking it up again. And there's a lot of delusion to be chopped up on Kendra G's show. By very high demand, everybody wants me to react to the second part of Kendra G's High Value Men Don't Exist. We're going to briefly cover it, and then we're going to get out of here.
Respected by not just other men, but by women too, okay? Because a lot of men respect men who I don't respect, child. But you have to be respected. You have to have good character. In my own personal level, you got to know the higher up. You got to know God. You cannot, to me, you're not a high value man if you don't know God. Okay? But you just got to have a good soul, and you got to show up, and you got to be there when it matters. You know, that's something so important when it matters. Anybody, I always say this, you throw a birthday party, everybody can show up for that. But who shows up on your worst day? That's high value man. That's high value man. And it's not always determined by a salary. Because think about it, sometimes the man with the big salary is out working. How is he going to show up for you? So I just think that as we grow in society and learn what's happening, we can't allow people to brainwash us. You know, I host a dating show. And one of the requirements, one of the questions is, should he make a certain amount of money? And women will say he has to make at least $100K. And I have come to learn they just recite it like a parrot. What does that even mean, he has to make $100K? Like, how would you even know that he only makes 70,000. Like, how do we even break it down? But it's so been used to being said. And in all honesty, if you make 100K as a woman and you meet a man who makes 60K, that's already that's an extra $60,000 that you can add onto your lifestyle. Like, that's how I would look at it if that was the category. I don't like talking.
But Kendra, if I were to ask you if you would date a man who makes $100,000 a year, you would say that that's not enough money. You wouldn't say, "Oh, that guy makes $100,000. I make $300,000 a year. His $100K a year would just mean we have $400,000 a year now." You wouldn't think that, but you expect women who are beneath you on a financial level to, I don't know. Let's get back into it.
About money too much, because one thing I've learned is money is so sensitive and people have attached so much to money. Like, I'm going to be on tour. Shout outs to Ace Metaphor. I'm going on tour with tonight's conversation. On the tour, I'm going to have dates with Ayanna Von Sant, and Ayanna Von Sant,
Oh, God.
All Hail the Queen.
Because you talked about
All hail the queen of delusion.
My dog died alone.
And I respect Iyanla Van Zant. Don't get it misconstrued. I respect Iyanla Van Zant. I feel like her work with Fix My Life was phenomenal work that I think that we still need in the community. I think that she wasn't treated well while she was doing it. I mean, when I go back and rewatch it, I can see that she has a little bit of a bias towards men. I don't think that she treated a lot of the men well on her show, but I do think what she was trying to do was a good idea in totality. But now we've already heard through so many interviews and things like that Iyanla Van Zant has a lot of delusional shit to say about men. I mean, she did a good job of, like, I guess, reprimanding that woman who said that she wouldn't want to date a bus driver, but Iyanla still talks about dating a bus driver in a sense to where, oh, well, I'm gonna get a prenup and yada yada yada. It's like you're talking about a man who you say you trust to lead your life. You're gonna get a prenup and whatever. It's like it's that Kendra G shit. You believe that a man is coming after your money because all in all you value what you've accomplished from a career standpoint more than anything you've accomplished in the home. We all know that it's public record that Iyanla was a terrible mother. She didn't even raise her kid properly, so on and so forth. And I'm not surprised that it's Kendra G's hero, women who don't get the job done.
money, but what about physical pleasure then?
I'm going to let Alejandro come in. He told me he has a question. What's your question?
Okay, so men hold two things valuable: money and what they can bring sexually into the table. So let's talk about the sexual side of a high-valued man.
Some high-value men don't provide good sex.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why he works so hard to make a lot of money, because he wants to keep you. So since he can't...
Hold on, delusional hyena. Kendra. Now high value men aren't good in bed. And I already know where you're going. I'm going to stop you. It's because the only reason why they acquired all the wealth that they acquired is because they really need to distract the world from how bad they are in bed. Their stroke game is weak, right? But that's a pretty juvenile deflection. And there's no way you could possibly know that to be true for certain. There's no way you could know that. You would be some sort of nasty, disgusting, awful prostitute of a woman to actually know that. In reality, that means you've dealt with a lot of high-value men. You've seen a lot of their Johnsons. So there's no way you can know that for sure. This is just like you saying that like that because high value men typically exercise options that demerits their value in some way. But you wouldn't date a man who makes less money and is going to be completely faithful to you. You'd never do that either. But your morals are just in this high place.
God, I want to listen, y'all. I'm not a vulgar woman, so I try to say things in the most professional way as possible. But there are some times where a man's penis is his currency, and what I mean by that is he D's you down, but he has no money. But his D is so good, he actually focuses on women who have money. And there's a lot of women who have money who will, I don't want to use the word pay, but let's say would overlook his lack of income for her sexual desires. So gold really is high value man and good sex. If you get that for a woman is gold. But
that's gold. Didn't I tell you guys? Black women, one of you guys' biggest issues in the dating market is you're putting stimulation over substance. You're valuing a man for how he makes you feel in between your legs more than what he can do for you. Kendra, you didn't even mention the this is messed up. This is just like the Cynthia G thing. Cynthia G had all those nasty things to say about black men that eventually got her black ass yanked off YouTube. But she always would mention how black men were good enough to sleep with, though. She could take them to bed. They could go to bed with her, but they weren't good enough for her just from an eye test standpoint and from what she had seen. She just didn't believe black men were up to snuff. But their Johnson, she could deal with that. You know what I mean? Little nasty, little vile little lady.
Pull up then.
Very serious about my meat. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I'm just saying. Why am I not surprised, Kendra, that how a man pleases you in between your legs, that's like top priority, and you never mention anything about a man's ability to like stay with you for a long period of time. You guys, him having a retirement, nothing like that. Nothing about the quality of the fiber of the man ever. It's always about like the tingle in between your legs. And ironically speaking, you stand in front of a lot of black women who also are putting this same attribute above the other things that matter. Now, should a woman not care about if a man pleases her in bed? Absolutely not. A woman should care on some level. But what I always say is a woman can't afford to prioritize it the same way that men prioritize it. That's just the truth of the matter. You can kick and scream, say whatever you want to say. The truth of the matter is that women are, when it comes to you guys' chances and how much, how few your options are and how much you outnumber men, that's just where you are. So she's like, oh yeah, that's gold. A high value man and he can rock my world. Woo! It's like, so revealing, so telling of your maturity level of like how you vet men.
I think that some women don't know the compromises that women make at times for marriage and relationships. And sometimes you might be with a man who has a lot of money, but he's not putting it down in the bedroom. And sometimes you might be with a man who's putting it down in the bedroom, but don't have a lot of money. But of course,
And Kendra, are you willing to deal with that guy? Are you willing to deal with that guy who doesn't have a lot of money? But every time he hit it, your leg be shaking and you be like all messed up. You go straight to sleep, right? You go straight to sleep. But he doesn't. But he can't. But he can't pay for you to go out of the country 4 or 5 times out of the year, like you could do for yourself. But he's knocking your shit back. You won't date him, but a high value guy who maybe is just decent in bed or whatever, or is not up to snuff to your par or whatever. Can't your his Johnson doesn't fit in your hallway. He's not good enough. Okay.
Wow factor is he puts it down in the bedroom and he has a lot of money and now you're just happy. But I think that I will say this, just like, you know, genetics are genetics, people. Like, you know, you're born with what God gave you. So I do sometimes have a sympathy for men who just were not born well endowed. You know, it's not their fault. They just were not born well endowed. And these men, I love that you asked this question because you done took me in a whole different realm with that question. These men sometimes are the most loyal. They show up the best. They show up the most. They're the most caring. They're gonna love on your kids. They're probably gonna do a lot because they.
That's actually not true. See, you don't even understand men. You haven't done any real research. A lot of times men who are sometimes lacking in that area, it's been proven that the infidelity with those men go up. That actually to compensate from how they're rejected and how they're treated, they tend to actually behave worse than men who are validated when they sleep with women. You do not know what you're talking about. Stop trying to understand a world that you're not in.
No, they can't please you. They can't dematize you. So all they can do is be the most amazing man to keep you in their presence. Now, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying every man that does that cannot D you down. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is
so why does
that
it matter?
Is some of the guys' secret weapon. They got to keep you around, so they're going to be the best man they could be. Sometimes men that provide good sex, they like, you ain't going nowhere. That's why sometimes you have an argument. Think about, ladies, think about the times when you might be mad with a guy. What he try to do? He try to have sex with you. Because he feels as though if he can have sex with you, you're going to get over the reason why you was mad at him. It's called dematize you. Some men don't have dematized power. Okay? They don't have dematized power because they just wasn't blessed that way. That's not the gift God gave them. It's okay. There's no shame. I'm not talking, you know, there's no shame. It is what it is. But sometimes that man is going to work harder. But
Kendra, if you knew anything about men, you would understand that men, a lot of men who can control women or the dynamic changes once they sleep with a woman, that they don't really find that all the way favorable, especially when they're trying to secure a woman in the long term. You're even incorrect in trying to know where we're validated. Because yes, men have a lot of personal pride about their Johnson, but you're attempting to try to understand the mind of men, and you're failing miserably. That's the truth. You're failing miserably. Men don't necessarily think the way that you think that they're thinking. It's becoming very clear why you make the mistakes that you make with men. I can tell. And I think you believe that men live in a delusional world the way that women do. That when they're inapt or when they're incompetent in some way, they find ways to convince themselves that they're not incompetent. When men know where they're lacking a lot of the times, because we live in a world that won't allow us to dilute ourselves. And like a lot of men who only have their women under control by sexual influence, we've seen how that pans out over time. We have. We've seen how it pans out over time. There hasn't been in my research of doing this work, there hasn't been a woman who hasn't been like, had her back completely blown out by a guy who wasn't worth anything. And eventually, that's just not enough to carry her. And a woman who's of any quality whatsoever cannot be carried or sustained by how a man pleases her in between her legs. It's just the truth. Cash App stopped the show. We got our first Cash App. Hawk Thomas says, your work is valuable, brother. Much love. Thank you, Hawk Thomas. I appreciate that. He got 5 on the show. Much love. Thank you. Let's get back into it.
It gets a challenge because, ladies, this is what happens. And this is why I say do not enter into situationships, because it's like once you bite that apple and you've been demonetized by a demon, because you probably was a demon, now that's your standard of sexual pleasure. And you might not find that standard of sexual pleasure. But because you experienced it, it's hard for you to be satisfied with something less than. So now you have a decision to make. Do you stay on the list of the man that demonetized you? Do you stay with the man that demonetized you and maybe accept the things that you don't want to accept? Or do you go with the guy who might be a great guy and is going to do all the things that you want him to do? Show up, not cheat, be there, all these things. But he can't provide that same deep power. What do you choose? What do you choose? Now, of course.
Now, you guys don't understand that because this is even a question. Because this is even a question for Kendra G. This says so much about how she values men and the way she vets men. Something that I've been saying is Kendra G's greatest hindrance and why she suffers in the dating market. Just like most women in the black community, she doesn't even really know what to vet men for exactly. She doesn't know what the quality, she doesn't know what qualities in men she's supposed to hold near versus the ones versus the ones that are supposed to fall lower on her priorities. You see? She's like, what do you do? She's like, what do you do? What do you do when you have a guy who has everything that you need? Everything else. He's checking off every box. But he doesn't rock your world as good as the last guy. And she's saying, what do you do? If that's a question in the black community for black women, why are we questioning why we have so many single mother-led households in the black community if our women are picking men based off of how well the man stimulates them more than how much he can provide and do all the other things? Why is it even a question that we have more single mother-led households than households with fathers in them? And more importantly, why the fuck are black men on the hook for it? For the choices you women don't make. You women aren't making good choices, yet we're on the hook for it. David Edwards took the sponsor spot. He says towards goal. Y'all show that man some love. He's our most consistent sponsor. We actually just had somebody reach out to us who like puts together these trips where we'll like kind of be able to meet up. I think we're gonna do like these group trips to go along with everything that we're doing with the comedy shows for our top sponsors. I can't believe we got it's right in the name of us always talking about traveling. I'm thinking about setting up literally a trip, like a personal trip where I meet with all of my top donors. I feel that might even be better than I'm still going to recognize them and give them special attention at my comedy shows, but I want to personally be able to like meet up. Like I want us to have a good time. And the cool thing is you guys aren't gonna have to pay for anything. Like, and you know who you are. The top sponsors, you know who you are. It's like almost, I think it's like 15 people or so in that domain. It's gonna be cool. Just be able to hang out with DonLexy like normal. We're just like walking around. And we're like, who are those people over there? Who are those funny looking people over there? Yeah. Much love. Thank you, David Edwards. Okay.
These are not the only options, but we are playing the game of choice. Ladies, only you can answer this question for yourself. One guy can demonize you, demon D, but he ain't gonna be the man. Like he already decided he's not gonna make you his girlfriend. He's not gonna marry you. You know, he got other women, and that's what it is. But he don't mind keeping you in his demonetized rotation. You might be on a list of 5, and in his mind, he feels like he's doing you a favor. Oh, don't get it twisted. Men who were born well endowed feel like the woman that they have sex with, they are doing her a favor, because how many women would love to be pleased by me? This is the mindset. You got to understand the mindset. So in his mind, he's like my co-executive producer, Alejandro, feels like he's the prize. So you got him. Now the other option is the man.
Let's keep this all within perspective, because he doesn't feel his way to his perspective. You felt your way to yours. He didn't feel his way to shit. He gave you specific criteria why he felt like he was the prize. He said when he comes into a woman's life, he makes it better. When a woman comes into his life, she tends to bring more problems and issues for him to fix than she brings value. That's a very sound reason for saying that he's the prize. That actually was a phenomenal answer. And then your response to him saying that was, well, I just believe that women are the prize. I just believe that. That's feeling your way to perspective. Stop trying to say he feels like anything. He gave you specific, clear reasons why he believed what he believes. Let's read some super chats before we move on to this hyena. Lord Commander says, they rather have the low budget good wood guy.
But yes, I'm very serious about my meat.
They can't bear the thought of being enough for a high value man. High value men have standards for them to meet. Exactly. I mean, that is really what it comes down to. The biggest issue with women like Kendra G, she wants a high value guy, but she doesn't want him to believe that he's better than her. That's her biggest issue. It's nothing but her stupid modern woman ego. She wants high value men, but she hates that they can see how valuable they are. She wants a high value man who kind of doesn't think that he's that valuable, so that she has room to kind of be in the lead too. Thank you for that. Project Leroy says, women need to have a roster of men like me. Also, Kendra, this is why women shouldn't have situationships. Yeah, it's like she's almost promoting it. Without knowing it, she's promoting situationships. She's promoting casual hookups. And this is something that black women do after all of their chances are blown. They start giving out terrible advice to the younger generations of women. They do. They start giving out terrible advice to the younger generations of women.
And who, he can't demonize you, but he gonna go to church with you. He gonna pray with you. He gonna be there for you on your saddest days. You know, he really likes you, but you know, you gotta work with him in the bedroom. Who do you choose? That is your decision. Who do you think most women choose, Alejandro?
I think option 2.
The good guy?
Yeah, they keep the demon available. They keep them interested. They follow them on Instagram. They like their post. If they end up in the same city together, they might do something. But they always stay with the comfort, even though they're interested in the outside thing.
Oh, so we're getting into the women cheat conversation.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because ladies, there's only the conversation about men cheating. No, women cheat. Women cheat. I know it to be true. Women cheat. I'm a woman. And that's why another time, sometimes I laugh at men who think they have, you know, they chase a woman. They don't, because men don't always chase based off a character. And I'm like, sir, she's gorgeous and I'm happy for you, but she's sleeping with somebody else. I don't know if you know it. Maybe you don't care. It's your life. It's your business.
Kendra, oh my goodness. I knew that you were a hater. I knew that you really because you can't pull a high value man, because you can't get with a high value man or one that will kneel down to you and bow to you, that you've just over time grown a large layer of resentment for for high value men. You assume that every like older man who's dealing with a gorgeous woman, that somehow it has to be, there has to be some sort of like corruption, and there has to be something going on where it's not real. She's actually throwing it back on somebody else. Do you know how many women they know that they go to bed with a man who can't like rock their world, but they learn to be okay with it, and they're not secretly depressed, and they're not calling Tyrone when he's not around to throw it back. It's not that serious to them. And of course you would probably think, oh, they're probably miserable. No, not if that guy can provide for them a lifestyle they can't provide for themselves. And especially if they already lived in some aspects and have gotten their rocks off, and then whatever, she knows it's time to grow up. And something that you always underestimate about high value men is how much, like, see, guys don't exist in places of delusion. There are some guys to where they might even be tricking a little bit, but they're aware of the fact that the woman doesn't like value them all the way. And that's where what I think you're missing. Even the guys who are just simply tricking just to be next to a young woman, they don't even value her. They don't delusionally believe that that woman is like actually in love with him and that it can lead to something. He's perfectly okay. He just wants some ass. He doesn't care about if she respects him. Or he doesn't care about if she respects him, excuse me. Right? But in your hypothetical, you would like him to care, because then that brings some reason to whatever it is you're saying. Made up shit. Stuff that you can't possibly know every single high value man is thinking.
You know what I say on this show? You like it, I love it. But that's interesting because we don't spend a lot of conversation on women who do cheat. And this is a very real thing. We're just great at it. Like, we're just great at it because men are...
I'm sorry, Kendra. Are you trying to uplift women right now, or like, I'm confused. Like, are you an advocacy of women right now, or because I think in your attempt to witch hunt high value men, you're making women look like something that men shouldn't trust at all. And I don't believe that women are looking to brag about how well they can betray the man that they're with, Kendra. Just undeniable level of just
most men are kind of stupid, so it's easy to be a woman if you want to be sneaky in that category. I don't think
most men are stupid. I told y'all this bitch hates men. Like, how could somebody like me be judged by somebody like this? Kendra claims that people like me are bad for women. Have y'all ever heard me say most women are stupid? Or seriously? No, seriously. I mean, have y'all ever heard me say most women are stupid? Ever on my show? I hardly say most women are anything. I might say generally speaking. But I've never even said generally speaking women are stupid. Kendra, I knew, like, somewhere in your mind, you believe that the majority of men are stupid, or you believe that the baseline we're just... Now it makes sense that you want a high-value guy who doesn't know he is. He needs to be lacking, because it would line up with your belief systems that men don't think through what they want. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. T. Lee says, women aren't great at cheating. Side dudes just don't snitch. It's like, for real, it's like, thank you, T. Lee. She's like, we're so good at cheating, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's just guys wanted to keep going, so we would never make our presence felt to the other guy. You women are losers. So when you end up a side chick, you have to make your presence felt to the other girl because, you know, it's all about winning, even if it means stepping on the head of another chick. But, you know, women are in support of each other, right? Unless it's time to get at another chick, then you're not in support of women anymore.
I don't don't condone it, to be quite honest. I'm older. Everything I'm telling you, I've been through the life lessons. I've been cheated on, and I've been a cheater, and I didn't like it. I didn't like either categories. I didn't like being cheated on, and I didn't like when I cheated because I didn't feel good. That's just not how I'm made to, that's not my cloth. You know, there's some.
Kendra, this isn't a personality type that makes you uncomfortable with a guy exercising options. No woman would necessarily be comfortable with her guy exercising options. You think that it hurts you any more or less than any other woman? See, your biggest issues in the dating market is you believing you're special and that you make the rules and that you feel something unique that other women don't feel, and that when you get cheated on, it hurts you more. But in fact, it doesn't. Even if a guy gets in a relationship with a woman and he originally tells her at the beginning, hey, look, I'm gonna have girls on the side. You understand me? That's just what it is. Okay? That, like, you can take it or leave it. As soon as she finds out that he's with another woman that's not outside of her, she's hurt all the same. But she has to accept the condition. She has to still fall back on the condition that she accepted in the beginning, and she has to find a way to be okay with it. But it still hurts all the same. Just because you're some woman who was like, oh, ain't gonna be me, that doesn't mean it hurts you more, motherfucker. That doesn't mean your hurt is any better than hers.
Some people, that's their cloth, child. That's how they get down. And I'm not here to judge it, but you got to know yourself. And we do get lost in the conversation of women cheating. And sometimes women will lock it down with a man who might be a provider and money, and then get sexually
I think you missed me read yours. I read yours, Lord Commander. I think you missed it.
But I just believe in karma too much. That will catch up to you
I didn't
at some
see
point
the
in
newer
time.
one. Lord Commander sent to the newer super chat. He says this is true because women's largest relationship is always their their longest relationship is always their favorite situationship. She leaves him alone to talk to a new guy, but goes back after. This is something that you see a lot of the times. A woman who stays in a situation that's like messed up and it's on and off, and it could be anything too. He could have been beating her up, anything. But the longer that she stayed with him, that's probably the guy who she's more than likely going to fall back on if stuff gets, like, if she doesn't have any other options, she's going to probably see what he's talking about. Because in her past, she invested a lot of time in her past in that guy. You're right.
At some point in time, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your actions. Like, karma is real. But I will say this, though. Going back to high value men and the way that is presented in society, you know, this is a very small list of men. Only those men get the opportunity to play the game in their favor. And it's generous to say 10%. That's a generous statement. Listen, 90% of men have to work to get a woman. 90%. And the 90% that are working to get a woman and that want a woman, they're frustrated. They're frustrated because women, and I'll add me, you make it easy for the 10% men. Like, you don't have the same requirements that you have when a man is attractive, can dig you down, has money or something, whatever your negotiation moment is. So the 90% of men who may not have attributes enough to get a woman just off of money, looks, access, all those things, they are frustrated, they're mad, and they're bitter, and they're upset that they have to work this hard to get a girl that a guy who might even be their friend, because they could have friends of men who are high value considered, and they see how easy it is for them to get women. Like, these non-requirements that women have when they call on my show. They all of a sudden break them when they meet a certain type of guy. And they're mad and they're frustrated. And that's why they're so loud, because I will say this, there are some really good men who are overlooked every single day for all different types of reasons. And it's not for me to convince a woman to align her life with a man she's not going to be happy with. I don't believe in that either. I believe in being full, whole, complete by yourself first. That sets the tone. Then people he
sure
is
how I
walking
just lost
around
audio.
with the S
Not sure at all how I just lost
on his chest, Superman, because women
At all.
gave it to him. And ladies, the only way to make this notion of a high value man
Hold on one
far from
second. I gotta figure out why I'm losing audio, everybody.
grace is
Whoa. What in the world? There we go. There we go.
to stop giving him grace. Thank you, God. That was so good. Stop giving him grace. I once said, treat every man like he's ugly. And what I meant by that statement, and women will get this, an ugly man has to go through hoops to get a woman's attention. He has to do everything because she don't find him attractive. And he has to work extremely hard to get her attention. Well, treat every man to that standard. Don't change your standard up because he could D you down, he attractive, and he got money. No, if you know what you want and your worth is non-negotiable, it goes across the board. And if he has, because let me tell you something, either he has it in him or he don't got it in him, okay? And what I mean by that is either he's gonna rise to the occasion, he really wants to be in a relationship, and that's the kind of man that he is, or he has no desire at all. Now, two things matter. If he has a desire, he wants to be in a relationship, and he's not pursuing you, then it don't matter because he's not pursuing you. They want you. So you're never going to get this treatment that you want from him. He's not pursuing you. Or maybe he doesn't have it in him at all. I think you have to start learning. There are a lot of men who truly have no desire that y'all want to be in a relationship. Like, they are happy living single because everything works in their favor. They have enough women to rotate. They might have children. They may not.
There we go. There we go. Kendra, what if he's fucking busy? What if he's got something to do that's just more important than talking to you on the phone? What if he's not even... What if he's not even a phone guy? Okay, let me make sure that we got everybody. Can everybody hear me? Income, output, testing. Let me go to the page. Make sure that I can even hear myself. What if he's not even a phone guy? Okay, make sure that we got everybody. Can everybody hear me? Income, output, testing. Let me go to the page. Make sure that I can even hear myself. Oh, the video is low.
Okay, but my house is better. It's nice. That's not the biggest deal. Something don't feel right, but it's all good. Okay, you keep going. Now we at Six Flags. Now we gonna ride number 3. Oh, you heard he has a girlfriend. And he tells you he's trying to break up with her, but just give him some time. That's not the biggest deal. I'm gonna give him some time. You know, that makes sense. It's not easy to break up with a person that you've been with for a while. Keep going. Then you on ride number 4, and you learn the girlfriend really isn't a girlfriend, she a wife, and that's why you can't never go to his house, because he can't bring the girl who he messing with is you, to his home, and that's why he can never answer the phone when you call him, because he with his damn family.
You are really dumb. Shame in your for real. No, ain't nobody shame.
Kendra, you really got to cut this shit out. You really do. Feature presentation. I really feel bad for you, Kendra. We're going to continue to react to that tomorrow's show. I didn't know that it was so much. We're going to continue to react to that. We have matters to cover. We have matters to discuss this evening. So we have to move on. We got single mothers out here asking for nearly 100K, and their averages a day is damn long. We're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to break it down. Let's spin the clip.
What are your deal breakers? I can't even talk. What are your deal breakers other than not a top tier man?
Aggression. If you don't love your mom, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to love me properly, because that's home base.
Okay, she's an idiot.
And when I talk about men in my real life, these talk to them directly. So on that note, she did manifest that. So I was wrong.
It didn't go completely how she wanted though.
No, but here's the deal. It didn't go how she wanted. And this is what I wanted to say there, but I forgot to say it, but I will say it now. Every connection with a man is not always going to be a romantic connection. And I think if some women can receive that, then you can receive the reason why God sent him, right? Sure. I think that when you only think, I have some amazing male friends that have completely changed my life just by connections, by introducing, I'll use one, the closest one, it was just a week ago, Troy and Rashad from Earn Your Leisure. These are 2 very platonic friendships that set me up to win. And when I talk about men in my real life, these are the men who I'm speaking of.
Kendra, they set you up to win in your personal life. It didn't move you any closer to a husband. It didn't move you any closer to lifelong security. You loser post-war women are always trying to find your wins where they don't really exist. Like, just because you have male support outside of your bedroom, it doesn't change the fact that you go to bed that you go to bed alone every single night. Those men can't. What about in the middle of the night? Who's your male support then in the middle of the night? Who's got your back? Who you gonna call Zach?
Who we have nothing but a platonic friendship, but it's so valuable, right? It's so valuable for the opportunities I get via our friendship. So I think women, what this could be is a teachable moment. And men, not every guy or woman you're gonna meet is gonna be somebody you're supposed to have sex with and have kids with. God might have a whole completely different reason, and you might miss that reason if you think it's just supposed to be your husband or your wife.
Agreed.
Okay. So I think in the moment of Missy, what I take away from it, and get us some good light so I can do your interview, child. What I take away from it is she got a chance to talk to her crush one-on-one.
Yeah.
He definitely knows who she is, so she will stand out. We need better light. Give me better light. She definitely will stand out amongst all the other women that also have a crush on him. And she had enough courage to do that in front of the world. So when that, I can salute her. That takes a lot of courage. All right, enough for her. I will post their video, but we're going to focus on you. Chanel like the purse. Where you calling me from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, God, I don't think how many people have called me from Nebraska? I've never in life been to Nebraska.
It's very slow here.
Is it? Do they got black people in Nebraska?
Everyone says that, yes.
So listen.
Nebraska.
Okay, I grew up in Connecticut, and that's what I heard all my life. There's black, I'm like, we got everything black in Connecticut. It's not a black state, though, because, you know, I lived in, like, a city like Chicago was a black city. I feel like Atlanta's a black city, so Connecticut ain't got no black cities. But we do got black people. So, okay. Chanel, how old are you?
I'm 29.
29, and what you do for a living?
A little bit of everything. I don't have a typical 9 to 5. I work in the beauty and fashion industry, as well as I'm trying to get my fragrance brand off the line, and also something that's catered to kids on the spectrum, meaning autism.
So what do you do to pay your bills?
A little bit of everything.
So what do you want me to write down for your job?
1099 contractor type thing.
Okay, 1099 contractor. Okay. Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a son.
How old's your son?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, because you can be a 1099 contractor for anything. Like, that doesn't say anything about what you do for a living. Sketchy.
He's 5.
5. Have you ever been married?
No.
No. Why are you not with the dad?
Says nothing about it.
See.
My God.
It's a thing where once upon a time we was on the same vibrations, and then I wanted to be better and grow because I was pregnant, and he stayed the same. So I had to let that go, him be greatness in his own eyes at that level that he was comfortable in, and I decided to be better.
Delusional as hell. Home wrecker.
You are really dumb. For real.
That's what I'm talking about. But we have a deadbeat father issue in the black community, where there aren't women all out picking their fathers of their children for all the wrong reasons. There are women like this who they start a family with a man, then they start doing better than him on paper, and then they destroy their family. We're not addressing these mothers in the black community. They're on Kendra G's show every single fucking day. These women are everywhere. They're on here talking about admitting to destroying the community. Yet there's a deadbeat father issue. No, there's a delusional black woman issue. There's a black woman bought into feminism to such an extent that they could have a baby with a man, start out earning him, and think that he's slowing her down, when it's the father of her fucking kids.
Decides to be better. Okay. And when did you guys break up?
2020 when I was pregnant.
You left him while you were pregnant?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Was it infidelity?
No, it's just that I knew my son needed more stability, and the rate that he was going, I knew that wasn't going to happen because he was not willing to change.
And you just so you found out that he was not willing to change after the baby came. You sure you didn't know anything, that he didn't show you anything that signified that he probably wouldn't be the best father or whatever the case may be, which still is to be determined. You don't know that. It doesn't sound like he was given much of a chance. Said your baby's only 1 year old. Doesn't look like you even gave him a chance, really. But you already know, right? A lot of the women in our community think that they're better than their men. They think that they're better. They think that they're better than the fathers of their children. They could be with a man, then get a degree, and then break their family up and be like, "Oh man, my baby need more." It's like, what are you talking about? That baby needs his father, or his or her father. What are you talking about?
How long were you guys together before you got pregnant?
Oh, like 3 years.
So in that 3 years, was there any signs or no?
No, because I didn't have any kids, you know, so I'm like, I really didn't care.
So
Love.
how many months were you?
She actually admitted it. She actually fucking admitted it. She actually admitted it. Did y'all catch that? She said she didn't have any kids. So she didn't even care. She didn't care. This is a very profound moment in Kendra G history. Because that might have been a Freudian slip, but that actually was profound. Because that is how the majority of the single mothers found themselves in the predicament that they were in. They did not give a fuck about who that dude was until after the baby was conceived. Y'all know it. Y'all been seeing it in the hood every day. Stop playing with me. It's just this dumb broad done got some liquor in her, and she actually admitted it. But I'm here to tell you people, whoever might be lucky enough to be finding this live stream that is banned because I am that good at what I do, that they are working hard to keep them telling. Tell y'all, this is the majority of the single mother demographic. They landed there for that Freudian slip. What she just said. She said, I didn't even care about all of that or how much I was better than him until after I had kids, until after I got pregnant. That means the women that's how y'all are making decisions in the black community. So we're getting somewhere. You have to care before you know if he can please you in bed. This is why Kendra G putting a huge emphasis on stimulation earlier when she was referencing high value men is bad information for the women to take in. I can't believe you said that, man. But that was great because what it does is it puts into perspective how black men are not destroying the family dynamic. The women are. You aren't. My theory is correct. You're not even looking at the man good until shit hits the fan. So is that an issue with fathers, or is that an issue with your inability to vet a man and to screen a man for the proper qualities of a father? I think that it's the latter. I rest my case. I wasn't
ready.
Pregnant when y'all broke up?
I rest my case.
5.
5 months. Okay. All right. So you guys co-parent well?
Oh, he's a demon. I don't talk to him. The most thing he can do for me is be better for himself. And once he become better for himself, then I'll be accepting his communications. But until then, I have to protect my son's space.
Okay. All right.
So it isn't on you at all that you met someone who you believe is a demon, and it's not. How is it not your fault that this child is in a messed up circumstance? If you already knew that this guy was a bad guy and you brought his baby to term. If any woman out there, if you come to a realization that you don't want a man anymore and you don't see him as anything valuable and you take his baby to term, whatever happens to you, happens to you. You don't get to call him a demon. You already deemed him less valuable or less than before the baby even got there. You already, and then you had his baby. You had his baby, but you had already ruled him out. Mm. Ooh wee. Look at Kendra G. Look at Kendra offering just about zero feedback, kickback, no pushback at all. Trying to tell y'all, anybody who supports Kendra G, no way you could support. There's no way you support the community. There's no way you're for the black family if you support Kendra G. She doesn't care at all about. She doesn't care about men. She doesn't care about the women who are destroying themselves. It's like all a game to her.
And never been married, correct?
No.
All right, so we got Chanel, Nebraska, 29. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer Leo.
Cancer, Leo. So Chanel, Nebraska, 29, Cancer, Leo. Mom to a 5-year-old. Works, has a couple of jobs, but 1099 contractor. All right, honey, what kind of men are you looking for?
The creme de la creme, like the best, the top tier. Yes, ma'am.
What describes top tier?
Meaning emotional intelligence, a provider, also someone that understands my role as a feminine healed girl and his role as a healthy masculine man.
So only because you use this word, you want the top tier men. Do you consider yourself a top tier woman?
I do.
And tell me.
Buy a dog, die alone.
Top tier what? Top tier what? Man, there isn't shit about you that's top tier. And I have to say that because you're a disgusting, awful homewrecker who I don't have any intention on being patient with this evening. You destroyed your family because what? Because of things that you already knew about a guy before you had the baby with him, and you admitted it when you were drinking. You admitted it. You get average money because you're an average woman. I'm not about to even go on and on about it. You're not worth 6 figures. It is what it is.
What ways you're a top tier woman?
I have no trauma that I need to heal from.
You done smoked a whole brick of crack. Yes, you absolutely do. Yes, you do have a lot. What are you talking about? You just because you're not aware of it, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
I've done the work. I am not out busting it over for a real because I value myself that much more. I'm also intelligent. I'm dutiful. I look good. I keep my physique right. I know a little about a lot. So my experiences and also my education, because I love to read and I love culture, makes me well versed in different aspects of life.
Oh, okay. Okay. What are your deal breakers? I can't even talk. What are your deal breakers other than not a top tier man?
Aggression. If you don't love your mom, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to love me properly because that's home base.
Says the woman who ripped a father right out of the hands of her father simply because she doesn't believe that he's good enough. She hasn't even talked to her daughter about that yet.
If you're the person's constantly having like it's hard for me,
Much love, man. I appreciate
things
that.
never go right. That's
Doing
a
my
horrible
best.
disposition to then because life is only what you make it. And if you think good is going to happen, you put that energy out and it's going to go good. There's always a silver lining in the tunnel or in the clouds. You just got to be wise enough and open enough to see it.
Okay, I got this question from Kareem. Kareem said, if your baby daddy proposed to you before you were pregnant, would you have accepted?
No.
Then why'd you have a baby by him if you wouldn't have married him?
It was one of those, oops, oh no, it came off type thing.
No. You don't get to do that. Look what you're a terrible person. You are a terrible person. Because for one, that's not true. But for two, even if it was true, that would make you an even worse person. But the fact that you just tried to do that right there, that's everything we need to know about who you are as a woman. It wasn't no oops. Because even if y'all, let's just say, just for the sake of the conversation, that I believe you. Let's just say that I believe you that the contraception slipped off, or whatever the case may be, or whatever, right? Let's just say that let's just say that the contraception did actually slip off. All right. You still have all of the rights on if that baby lives or is unalived, because you have options. You have plan B. You can you guys have options to like abort children if you want to. You guys adoption. You guys have so many like ways out. Reproductive rights fall on the woman. That's why all you women, whoever are out there, like, oh yeah, well you guys just need to stop shooting the club up. Well, that would be a profound argument if the guy had any power over if the baby lived or didn't live, right? Then you would have something there. If the guy let's say in a scenario where you don't want to bring the baby to full term, because you just want to choose yourself, you want to be a modern woman. And let's say that the guy wants to take care of his baby. Would he have any rights on stopping you from being able to terminate the child? He wouldn't, right? So what does that mean exactly? That means that the reproductive rights in these scenarios fall on who? Right, the women. Eureka. Yeah, it's the women. So if the reproductive rights fall on the women, you women don't get to say oops. There's only to so much. To what extent can't you say oops? And I'll tell you, it's where the reproductive rights line is drawn. And the reproductive rights line are in the person who decides if the baby survives. You decided if the baby survived. So you're responsible for the baby being in a broken situation that you already knew was broken before you ever even brought this baby to term. And now you're trying to demonize him. So why? So you don't look as bad for having the child in the circumstances that you had the baby in? If we just focus on how bad of a guy he is and how much crap he is, you don't look reckless. You don't look like you make poor choices. You guys hit the like button if you can. Let's continue.
It was not planned, but I embrace it, and I'm not the person to do it. And when I found out, it was too late to do the swallow with the water.
I thought you said it came off during sex.
Yes, it did. That's how I got pregnant, but I didn't know until like 6 weeks later.
Oh, wait. How could you not know until 6 weeks later? I know you didn't have that. I know that thing didn't stay in you for 6 weeks. I mean, and I know that that's happened to some chicks. Are you telling me? So either one, you're a liar, or two, you had old, nasty contraception stuck in you for 6 weeks. Please tell me you didn't have that old, nasty contraception stuck inside of you for 6 weeks. Please. Please clear this up. Please clear this up. Please make this make sense, lady. Please. I don't want to have to go back to my therapist this week. If you could just make this make sense.
Oh, well, listen. I don't know, but okay, we're talking about the plan B right now, right?
Yes.
So I guess if you were willing to take the plan B, you just could have been cautious if you knew the condom came off during sex to just take it the next day, if that's what you're open to.
See, it happened before and nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let it slide. This has been like a few times it's been like that. And
Oh,
like
so
never
now,
pop up saying,
oh,
here,
so now
here
it's
it
a few
goes. But it
times.
was just this one time, like, oh man, well, I guess I'm above you now.
Okay. All right. So that's the answer, Kareem. Okay. I love
He's
it.
lying.
Tonight's been so crazy for me. Please forgive me.
No, Kendra, you heard everything right. This has nothing to do with your sleepiness. This lady is actually talking bullshit. I am going to do the Kendra cam, though. I don't even know if Kendra even asked her to do the Kendra cam. Oh, yeah. Doesn't look like it was very eventful.
Let's get to the Kendra cam early because you talking like you one of them. So let's just see it.
Or possibly 4 if he wants children.
So you don't want to work?
I don't want to have to work. I want to have the option.
Okay. There are men out there who will provide you. There are men out there who will like, they'll provide for a woman a 90K a year lifestyle and give her the option to work. I'm a guy to where I pay all the bills in my situation. When I'm with a woman, I pay all the bills. But she can do things, but I have rules. Like, you can work from within the home. Like, you can find find ways to earn money from within the home. But going all out and about and being obligated to other men while under my control and under my leadership, probably not. Every guy is different. Every guy is different in this regard. Every guy is set up different. But I'm here to tell you, either way, you don't even qualify for that guy anyway. So you don't even got to worry about it, man, because like it's not gonna happen for you. You don't have to worry about having the option to work or not work or anything like that because of how far you exist from self-awareness and the objective truth of how all this stuff works. You're cooked anyway. You don't have to worry about it.
To the Kendra cam now, child. I got to see it. Let's get to the Kendra cam early because you talking like you one of them. So let's just see it. Let's just see it, child, because you got to be one of them the way you talking. I don't even get to the Kendra cam this early, but we gonna go there right now.
Kendra, you just a country ass.
Are you gonna take your sweater off?
Yes, ma'am.
The light, okay, get the light in your favor. You have on a black. Oh, you seem tall.
I'm 5'10".
Okay,
5'10".
okay. But okay. I mean, all I see really.
Man, for 90K a year, he's gonna need more than some big 5'10", big burly shouldered broad, okay? Hate to be so mean about it, but I to be honest, I didn't really come here to be nice today. I don't, especially with you home wrecking women who think you're better than the men who you had kids with. I go hostile on you every single time. That's part of one of the things that have made this show popular. They love to see me lose my damn mind on women like you who think you get to wreck a home. And now I'm really upset because you're sitting up here with an elongated back and you're sitting here. What the fuck? You're sitting here overweight, and I got a problem with overweight women who are talking shit. And I'm a guy who has copped to saying, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm more attracted to big girls than I should be. But that doesn't mean but as a man who understands the game, I'm never going to tolerate women who are technically at a disadvantage when it comes to the things that men value the most, acting like they get the best, acting like they get top tier. Who the hell do you think you are? You got big shoulders. You're basically Medea. Just in her younger days, you're like a young Medea. And I'm not here to be patient with you, man, because you upset me. You hurt my feelings when you treated that father like he was nothing, and you treated him like he was garbage, and he didn't even have a chance to like not have a baby with you because you had all the rights. And you're sitting here on a platform dragging this man as if he's the reason that you brought that baby to term, and he couldn't have stopped you from not bringing the baby to term if he wanted to keep it. I would never let a woman with shoulders like you talk shit to me. Ever. And men in the dating market deserve better than women coming out with somebody else's child who you don't even value. So what makes you think what makes you think that the men in the dating market are going to think that you value them? You didn't even value the father of your child, somebody who you had as baby. And you found dumb reasons to see him as something insignificant. Or you always saw him as something insignificant. You still brought the baby to term, which means you make poor decisions. Or you had that baby from some awful place of insecurity and low self-esteem because you just needed something to love you. I don't feel sorry for you. I hope you, I don't, it is what it is. You're a home wrecker. If you had a girl, she's closer to the stripper pole before you. If you have a boy, he's closer to the penitentiary because of you. Because that's what happens when fathers aren't in kids' lives. They go bad. They do ugly things. But that is the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. We did have one Cash App that came in right there at the end. Who sent it? I believe it was Rockhound Publishing. He says, how is she top tier and her baby is half demon? Yeah, it's like... It's like you didn't even pick a good baby father. And... But yeah, that's the show, guys. We cut our sponsorship goal in half. We still have been having a hard time making goal. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna be a while before we do a show again. The support is kind of starting to dwindle. I'm gonna work on some short form content though, because that's actually growing the channel. That's actually bringing in revenue. I can only do the shows up until where you guys want to support them, unfortunately. So I don't know when we'll see each other again, but when we do, you know it'll be eventful. You guys take it easy, be good.